you mentioned, obviously it's no secret that you and Magic were best of friends at one point.
Yep.
And what did it mean to you guys to be able to sit down and clear that air for you?
It meant a lot, not only to me, but we didn't know, and I didn't know how much it would mean
To all of us.
to the world. I had no
important,
idea.
right.
Because when you're going through that, you just thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about really how it's affecting other people. And I just had this same thing happen with Karl Malone and I, right? And by the way, thank you, Kenyon. Love you, Saginaw Strong. But you don't realize what the other person is carrying, right? You feeling, yourself and your grief and your hurt.
Right.
But the other person who's carrying that guilt, when you have the opportunity and you can relieve them of that, not knowing that that's how much they carrying, right? That was a powerful moment, not only for he and I, but it was a powerful moment for the world, which we didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 2 moments we've had that we didn't realize what we was really doing that ended up changing a lot of stuff. Like when he and I first hugged and kissed, right? You know what? They it's like I can't meet my brother and give him a handshake. Whenever I met family, it was always an embrace, right? When we did that in the 80s as 2 men, right? Black masculinity, and being called into question. You're not supposed to, you're supposed to have this, this toughness about you and all this stuff. Well, when we broke down that barrier, we didn't realize what we had really done. Now, when we saw each other today, first thing we did, we hugged each other.
I couldn't wait to hug you when I see you.
Yeah, and then we hugged for a minute because I wanted to feel you, right? But back then, that was so controversial, right? Now, us coming together, forgiving, compassion, love, friendship, right? It's another powerful moment. Not knowing that that's what we were doing.
Right.
So I'm glad that he and I got to share that.
I mean, you mentioned, and that obviously this was going to come up too. You mentioned you got a chance to sit down with Karl at this last All-Star in Utah. How did that go?
Man, for years, man, I wanted to do something to Karl, man. I was
you mentioned some people might have, but Kmart told this story about how he was watching that game on TV when he was a youngster and got him back for you.
Yeah, and I'm saying thank you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you said thank you, but people might have not caught that.
But let me say why I said thank you, and then let me go further with that, because for years that dude put a mark on me, man, and for years I was like, I'm gonna get my mark back. You put a scar on me, and I'm gonna get my scar back. When I get my scar back, we even. But that,
not my lick though. My scar.
No, I didn't get scar back.
A lick or heel.
No.
Not my lick back. I need my scar back.
now we even,
Straight up.
But and so fast forward, right? I'm carrying this around for years. For years. Last Dance come out, and the narrative was, everybody hated Isiah. Nobody wanted him around. Nobody wanted him to be a part of it, so forth. So that was what's being played. So now, on the background, I'm getting calls from everybody. I'm getting calls from the Chicago Bulls team, teammates, people in the Chicago Bulls front office. I'm getting calls from people who was on the Dream Team saying, hey, man, that ain't me. You know how I feel about you, da-da-da. Okay, cool. Then I get a call from Karl. And I'm like, and he said, hey, man, I and this was years ago. He said, hey, man, I just want to tell you, I hear all this stuff about the Dream Team. How Karl talk. I'm a man. I'm a real man. I don't, I ain't hiding behind nothing. I didn't have nothing to do with that. you not making a team. As a matter of fact, I'm speaking for Stockton and I. And he said this on camera. He said, if there was a secret meeting, me and Stockton wasn't a part of no secret meeting trying to keep you off the team. That wasn't us. So now, my next question is, so man, why you hit me like that? And this is what I have to respect. And Kenyon, I hope you can respect this too, brother, because and all my people in Chicago and in Detroit, everywhere, I hope y'all can respect this about Karl Malone. Because what he said was, hey, look, I meant to hit you. That's how we played. You come down the lane, you gonna get some physicality. So I meant to do it. He said, but I didn't mean to do that. And I apologize because I didn't mean to do that. Hey, I have to accept that. You know what I mean? Because now if he would have been like, I'm a tough guy, that's how we play, and yeah, I'm gonna laid you out, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, now he gets emotional and he start crying. And, when people start crying, now you crying, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
Contagious, yeah.
yeah, so
you never know what people dealing with, bro.
yeah, and so I was only looking at it from my point of view. I never knew the type of guilt that he was walking around carrying. And so by me saying, hey man, it's okay. I love you, brother. We good. Man, he said, you just took the whole weight off my shoulder. Now, I never knew he was walking around with weight. I just thought he was walking around like, yeah, I'm a tough dude. Look what I did to you and somebody else I'm going to do. But that ain't the way he was thinking. And when he said, yeah, I meant to hit you, but I didn't mean to do that. Now, that last part, I got to accept, right? And that's, that was real. So I respect that.